Tyson Fury versus Oleksandr Usyk, the undisputed fight at heavyweight, looks like it's finally going to be happening. I have been wanting this fight for so long, pretty much ever since Usyk came up to heavyweight from cruiser and then beat Anthony Joshua to become the unified heavyweight champ. Man, I haven't been this excited about a boxing match in a long time, maybe even ever. I've been thinking about this fight for years now, and I'm going to be giving my full in-depth breakdown and final prediction. Usyk is by far the most skilled boxer Tyson Fury has ever faced, and you look at some of his past opponents more recently, guys like Deontay Wilder, Francis Ngannou, Derek Chisora, Dillian White, all these guys are more slow power punchers, don't throw a lot of volume. Usyk is the complete opposite, and it's a very different look for Fury. Fury hasn't faced a guy this fast, and in the past he's admitted to having struggled against smaller, faster boxers like Steve Cunningham. He said on the Joe Rogan podcast, Steve Cunningham up until that point was the hardest fight of his career, and Cunningham and Usyk are very similar. They're both smaller heavyweights coming up from cruiser. They have very similar dimensions, similar height, similar reach. Steve Cunningham even dropped Tyson Fury, but that was over 10 years ago, and it was also a much different version of Tyson Fury. Usyk is also a southpaw, which is much different than what Tyson's used to seeing, and I think will play a big factor in this fight, and we'll get into that in a minute. But in my opinion, Usyk is overall the much better boxer. He is more technical, he's better with his footwork, better with his defense, but Tyson Fury has the attributes, and those attributes are some of his biggest strengths in this fight. He is so much bigger than Usyk. He's listed at 6'9" with an 85-inch reach, whereas Usyk is 6'3" with a 78-inch reach. So supposedly Tyson Fury is 6 inches taller, but I don't know, look at them facing off. Someone's lying here because the height difference does not seem that crazy, but Fury does have a 7-inch reach advantage, so Usyk is going to have to find a way on the inside because we know Fury's going to be pumping out that jab all day long, doubling up on it, keeping Usyk at range, forcing Usyk to come in, possibly getting him to overextend on the left straight and then countering him with a right hand. Fury is also going to have probably 30 to 40 pounds on Usyk. We know Usyk's going to come in the low 220s. That's what he's weighed in for every single one of his heavyweight fights, whereas Fury in his last fight weighed in at 277 pounds. But have you guys seen Tyson Fury? He looks jacked. He's definitely shaved off a lot of that weight. I mean, look at him before and look at him after. So I could see him walking into the ring in the low 260s, which would be the lightest he's been in a long time. And I think he might be taking up a similar game plan to what he used against Klitschko, where he relied a lot more on speed and movement instead of force and power, which I think is a good game plan going up against the smaller, quicker Oleksandr Usyk, who's very good with his footwork. I don't know what they're doing over there in Ukraine, but they're doing something right because these guys have some of the best footwork I've ever seen. Lomachenko might have the best footwork I've ever seen. Usyk is also a southpaw, which is much different than what Tyson Fury's used to seeing. The last time Tyson faced a natural southpaw, it was against Otto Wallin all the way back in 2019, and Otto Wallin gave him a really tough fight. I mean, he nearly had him stopped with that cut over his right eye. And back in February, this fight was canceled because Tyson Fury got a cut over his right eye, the exact same cut in sparring. And because it is on that right eye, it is open to the power left hand of Usyk. That's how Otto Wallin was able to get that cut open. And I think Usyk might try and target that spot and reopen that cut. That could be a good game plan from him. We know Tyson is going to look to keep this fight on the outside, using his 7-inch reach advantage with his jabs, with his crosses. He has a really good jab. It's super long and stiff. Pause. Resume. He's really good at keeping his opponents on the end of his jab. He's good at working off his jab. His jab is his best punch in my opinion, and I think his jab is going to be crucial for him, just keeping Usyk back, keeping him out of the pocket. That's where he wants to be. Throw out your jab, double up on it, triple up on it, throw the 1-2, keep Usyk back, force Usyk to come in and then countering him, which it is going to be hard to land on him because Usyk has some of the best, if not the best defense in this heavyweight division. He is so hard to hit clean, especially to the head, has good head movement, great footwork, which is the base of your defense. It's the base of everything you do. And there is not one person at heavyweight with better footwork than him. He's just very hard to hit, let alone hit clean. But he has shown a weakness defensively to the body shots. You look at his last fight against Dubois. Dubois really hurt him with what some say a low blow, some say a body shot. Whether you think it was legal or not, it hurt Usyk. And also you look at both Anthony Joshua fights, but especially the second Anthony Joshua fight. A lot of AJ's success and pretty much his only success came from working the body body, and that took a lot of steam out of Usyk. It also started to open up the head. I don't think the head is going to be available to Fury right out the gate. Usyk is too good with his head movement, too good with his guard, too good at parrying and slipping shots. But I think if Fury works the body, we'll start to break down Usyk, and the head will become more available to him. And with them both being in opposite stances, that opens up the body to the power hand, and also with Usyk naturally being a southpaw, that leaves his liver more exposed. But I also think working the body is going to be a big part of Usyk's game plan. We saw Francis Ngannou expose Tyson Fury's weakness to the body shots. When Ngannou was in the southpaw stance, he was using a lot of good left straights to the body, a lot of good left hooks to the body that were really taking a lot out of Tyson Fury, and you could tell really wore on him in the later rounds. He really started to slow down. And let's be honest, the body is a pretty big target. It's hard to miss, and Fury can actually be pretty hard to hit to the head. He has pretty good head movement, a decent guard, keeps his hands up, but he doesn't have great defense when defending the body shot. So if Usyk does get on the inside, he can rip to the body with those left hooks, come upstairs with uppercuts, left straights, using the body shots, get Fury to drop his hands, and then going upstairs, using the body shots to set up the head shots. And if there is anyone that can work around Fury's jab, get on the inside, it is Usyk. He has the defense and the footwork to do so. And because they're in opposite stances, that jab is a lot harder for Fury to land because their lead hands are right there constantly clashing with each other. I mean, look at the Francis Ngannou fight. Tyson Fury was picking him apart with his jab, so what did Francis do? He made the adjustment, came out southpaw, which helped him mitigate the effectiveness of Tyson Fury's jab. And Francis Ngannou isn't a natural southpaw, and he's not even close to the boxer Usyk is. But even though I don't see Fury having a lot of success landing his jab, I think just using his jab to keep Usyk back, even if he's just hitting gloves, using it to gauge range, it's still going to be a great weapon for him. And that makes this fight a lot more about the power hand and the footwork. When one guy's in southpaw and one guy's in orthodox, controlling that outside foot position is so crucial to line up your power hand. And controlling that outside foot position is important for Usyk, not only to line up that left straight of his, but also to allow him to pivot and move like he likes to. Usyk is so good with his lateral movement. He's so good at creating different angles to attack on and just not being a standing target, which is important because you look at a lot of Tyson Fury's past opponents, they all just kind of stand in front of him and they get knocked out, and that's not going to happen to Usyk. Usyk's not just going to stand there. Usyk is going to be moving all around, making it harder for Fury to land on him. Now, it will be interesting to see who puts who on the back foot. We all know Fury does his best work when he's the one moving forward, but Usyk does not like to get put on the back foot. I think he's going to be circling away. I think Tyson's going to look to put the pressure on him, and Usyk's going to circle to the left, away from that power hand, because Fury has a lot of power. That's something he's really developed as he's put on more weight, and I think he'll still have that power even though he's cutting back a little. He definitely has the power advantage over Usyk, but I see him having a real hard time knocking Usyk out because not only is Usyk's defense really good, he also has an amazing chin. He has had somewhere around 300 or something fights, and he has never been dropped once. So not only is he extremely hard to hit, but if you do hit him, he has an amazing chin behind his defense. And Usyk does have a lot he can go to in this fight. Fury does sometimes slightly overextend on his jab, and if Usyk slips to the inside, he can land a left straight. He did this against Anthony Joshua, and he can use this as an entry to work around Tyson Fury's reach. He just has to be careful not to overextend or get super reckless, because then Fury's going to counter him with a right hand. Now, a place I could see Tyson Fury absolutely dominating this fight is in the clinch. Fury is masterful in the clinch. He knows how to work. He knows how to leverage his weight. He'll use the overhooks and then just lean all of his weight on you, forcing him to pretty much carry him. And against Usyk, who is a much smaller fighter, he's going to have a lot harder of a time holding Fury up, which is going to take a lot more out of him. It's going to start to gas Usyk out. And gassing Usyk out with the body shots, I think the left jab, right cross to the body could be a good combination, or just right hooks to the body. Just gassing Usyk out with the body shots and by laying all that weight on him in the clinch is going to be so important for Tyson Fury, because Usyk is a cardio machine. That guy can go all day and definitely has the cardio advantage over Fury. Fury has good cardio, especially for a guy his size. But, I mean, if you look at Usyk's second fight against Anthony Joshua, he threw 712 punches compared to Tyson Fury's third fight against Deontay Wilder, where he threw 385. Usyk is just so good at putting a pace on his opponents and gassing them out. Usyk is also very hard to clinch with because he's so slick with his movement and he's so fast. I could see him, as Tyson Fury looks to clinch, landing a good 3-4 punch combination. But for my final prediction, I have been thinking about this fight for years, going back and forth on who I think is going to win. But over time, I've slowly leaned more and more toward Usyk, so I'm going to stick with my gut on this one. I'm going to go with Oleksandr Usyk. I'll take him by a decision, like an 8-4, 7-5 decision, somewhere around there. I don't see him knocking Tyson Fury out. If anything, it would be a standing TKO later in the fight. I actually could see him dropping Tyson in the later rounds, but I think if you're going to knock Tyson Fury out, you have to knock him out cold. And guys like Deontay Wilder and Francis Ngannou, two of the hardest hitting guys ever, couldn't do it. I don't think Usyk can. And they hit him clean with their best shots. But I mean, I look at Tyson Fury's last performance against Francis Ngannou, and he did not look very good. He arguably lost that fight to a guy he should have ran through. Now, a lot of people are saying he underestimated Francis Ngannou, didn't take him seriously, and that's why it was a close fight, which maybe. But after he got dropped in that third round, he definitely would have started to take the fight seriously after that, and he was still getting outboxed at times. And there's a lot that Usyk does stylistically that I think will give Fury a lot of problems, like him being a southpaw, like how fast he is. I think those first 4 to 5 rounds are going to be really tricky for Usyk. I think he's going to have a hard time figuring Fury out, having a hard time getting on the inside of Fury. But I think as the fight progresses, as Usyk starts to download the data and begins to figure Fury out, and as Fury starts to gas out in the later rounds, I think Usyk will begin to take over. And I think he'll win a decision on the scorecards, but I could see Tyson Fury being the first guy to send Usyk to the mat. But I just don't see him knocking him out, and I don't see him outboxing Usyk and winning a decision. So I'm going to go with Oleksandr Usyk. I'm going to take him by a decision. I am not confident in this whatsoever. What are the odds on this? I'm curious. So Tyson Fury is a -120 favorite. Usyk is a +100 favorite. I can get behind those odds. They've closed a lot, though. I remember back in October, Tyson Fury was like a -300 favorite. But that is my final prediction and breakdown of Tyson Fury versus Oleksandr Usyk. I am so excited for this fight. I can't remember the last time I was this excited about a boxing match. This is easily my most anticipated boxing fight of the year and in a long time, and it might be my most anticipated fight across all combat sports. I am so excited for it, and I'm definitely going to do a breakdown on the fight after it happens, so subscribe so you don't miss that. Like the video or dislike the video, all you Tyson Fury fanboys. I'm just kidding, love y'all. But tell me what you guys think. Who do you think will win this fight and why? I'm very curious to see what you guys say. But with all that being said, I will see you guys in the next one.